welcome back to our story time of gods and goddesses of ancient Greece. Last time we heard about poor Phaeton and the chariot and how he ended up being a victim of Zeus's thunderbolt because of his foolishness. Today we're going to learn about the birth of Dionysus. Listen, is that the thunder? Zeus and Hera must be quarrelling again. Once again, when Hera is particularly spiteful to one of the mortal sons, Zeus hung her over a cliff with an anvil tied to her feet. But all that did was make her 3 spans taller and put her in a bad temper for a century. She could always find a way of getting back at her husband. Semele, princess of Thebe, was so pretty that Zeus fell in love with her as easy as a pebble falls into a pond. Of course, he visited her not on his own magnificent shape, but disguised as a mortal. She knew who he was, but was not silly enough to take advantage. For instance, she did not ask for a magical present, or to visit Olympus, or to live forever. Zeus loved her all the more for that. Then Hera found out. Amazingly, she did not send monsters to imprison Semele, did not conjure sharks from the sea to devour her, did not hurl boulders at her out of heaven's window. No, she just went and spoke to her, one woman to another. I quite understand, she said, smiling ever so sweetly, how anyone could resist the almighty, the shining Zeus, though you've never actually seen Zeus in all his glory, have you? Oh, you poor thing, never to see the true nature of your love, how unbearable. I don't mind really, said Semele, but her curiosity had been aroused. What did he look like, this marvellous immortal man? She was expecting his baby now. What would the baby look like? Would it be like her or shining like Zeus? The very next time Zeus visited her, she asked, "Show me yourself in your true radiance, my love. Show me the Zeus I have never seen. Show me Zeus shining." "No, I couldn't possibly. You are a mortal woman with mortal eyes. Do not ask again." But Semele could not put it out of her mind. "You don't care one fig or grape for me if you won't let me see you shining." "No," said Zeus, and stopped her mouth with kisses. "You love Hera more than you love me," said Semele the next time. "She's seen you, but I never have. Please, please." "No," said Zeus, and went home early, slamming the door. "I think if I don't see you, I shall die," said Semele. She's quite dramatic, isn't she? Stroking her big stomach and crying bitterly. "And then what will become of this baby of ours?" Whether she won him round or whether he lost his temper, Zeus did show himself to Princess Semele. He pulled his cloak, turned round 3 times and passed his hands twice over his hands and face. 1,000 shadows danced on the floor of that little Theban palace, cast by a bright profusion of lights. Then the shadows themselves were burnt away, so were the walls and the garden beyond, and the trees in the neighbouring orchard. Recovering his true shape, Zeus grew to such a size that he shattered the palace. There's a picture here of the different sizes of them. I've had to zoom out there so you can see it. So he grew to such a size that he shattered the palace that she lives in. And like an incandescent flame, his glory scorched everything for miles around, set it ablaze. Semele was frizzled like a moth in a candle. Tears were still wet on Zeus's cheeks when he summoned Hermes. "Can you find a safe place for this baby boy?" he said. "It is all that is left for me of a great love." And folding his fingers one by one, he showed Semele's unborn baby, only half formed, only halfway to being alive. Quickly Hermes fetched a knife and cut open Zeus's thigh. Placing the unformed child inside the wound, he stitched it shut. "You realise that the child will be immortal now, born of a god," said Hermes. His tears dried, his face broke into a grin. "Oh dear," said shining Zeus, "won't Queen Hera be vexed?" A few weeks later, Zeus had all but forgotten Semele. Being a god, the only pain he generally got was a nagging headache. But today, suddenly a sharp cramp made him snatch at his thigh. Out from between the great sinews, out of the shining, scarred skin, Dionysus was born, god of growing things, god of the vines. Zeus called for wine and raised a toast on Olympus's snowy peak. "To Dionysus, my immortal son." And the rage in Hera's eyes burned as red as the embers still glowing far below among the ashes of Thebe. Hermes, the storyteller, looked to see what colour eyes were of Argus the monster, and any of them were closed in his sleep. But Argus, who sees all, peered back at him, a little bleary from the bright daylight and the music of Hermes' voice, but none the less watchful, watching for signs of a rescue bid. And here there's a picture of the son, Dionysus, born... Oh no, that's Apollo. That's Apollo helping Zeus cut a hole in his thigh to keep the baby. And I think here might be the picture. Oh, that's Zeus is shining. Some beautiful artwork in this book. If you've been interested in any of these stories, you might want to find out some more about how the ancient gods are shown in some of the buildings around ancient Greece and how they like to decorate them to show how they felt. And it's interesting that Zeus is depicted in homes where people thought themselves more grand, hoping that maybe having him on their wall showed that they were grand too. Tune in next time when we find out all about Dionysus and the pirates and how the dolphins began.